What really happened behind the shocking news? Why did Jimin tell you that Jungkook failed his final military exam? What does it mean for BTS? Find them all here. Have you ever imagined how the CEO of one of the world's largest music agencies would react when he received news that could change the entire group dynamic that has been built over the years? How did Jimin, who always seemed to have a bright smile, feel when he heard this news? And more importantly, what really happened to Jungkook behind the scenes when he failed to pass his final exams in the army? The day began as usual, yet something that many had never imagined began to unfold. A surprising news came from Jimin, who immediately informed the management about Jungkook's failure in the final examination for the army. The entertainment world has never been so peaceful. SI HYUK, who was known for his calm demeanor, looked speechless. Is this the end of a journey, or just the beginning of a new, more challenging chapter? The news about Jungkook failing the military exam is not something that can be considered trivial. In a fast-paced world like the K-pop music industry, the name BTS is a symbol of strength and achievement. Their every move is always watched attentively. But who would have thought that the final military exam would be a stumbling block for Jungkook? The official statement from Jimin's side only mentioned that the magne did not manage to complete the military exam perfectly, even though he had tried hard. The reaction of SI HYUK, CEO of Big Hit Music, who is usually calm, this time seemed to show a deep doubt. As many people know, SI HYUK is a calculating figure, but this time he looks speechless. What makes this situation even more complicated is the fact that this is not just any ordinary exam. Conscription is an important part of every South Korean man's life, especially for BTS members who have become symbols of this country. Jungkook's disapproval carries more repercussions than just bad news. How will this impact BTS's comeback schedule? What will happen to the fans who are eagerly awaiting them? Jimin, who is known for his kind and caring nature, was apparently the first to find out that Jungkook did not pass the test. In an exclusive interview, Jimin revealed that despite the shocking situation, they all supported Jungkook's decision to go through the enlistment process wholeheartedly. However, Jimin added something interesting. Jungkook is a person who never shows his doubts to others, even when he feels tired. There is some speculation arising from Jimin's statement. Was there a mental strain unseen by the public that weighed on Jungkook during his enlistment? What's really going on behind the scenes? Could it be that this failure was not due to a lack of ability or preparation, but rather to the emotional burden he experienced during his life in the military? Jungkook, who has always been a strong figure in front of fans, now has to face the fact that his struggle in the army is not over. Meanwhile, ARMY, a big fan of BTS, is trying to find answers to this news. Many began to wonder, were there any external factors that influenced Jungkook's decision to fail? Or is he facing a bigger challenge than we know? The first response came from the fans. They were stunned, unable to believe that one of BTS's most beloved members had this failure. However, most of them gave their full support to Jungkook. Many stated that failure is not the end of everything, and they hope Jungkook can rise stronger than ever. In addition, the reaction of fellow BTS members was no less interesting. RM, who has always been a wise and thoughtful figure in every action, gave a very profound commentary on this incident. Jungkook is part of our family. What happened to him is what we faced together, RM said with eyes that sparkled with empathy. However, the reaction of SI HYUK, CEO of Big Hit Music, was the most attention-grabbing. After receiving this news, he was seen to be silent for a long time in his room. Is he surprised? Or is he considering the greater impact of this failure on the future of BTS and Big Hit? The silence created in the room indicates that this is not an ordinary problem. Over time, the world of K-pop has become more than just entertainment. It is a world full of unimaginable pressures, expectations, and expectations. For an artist like Jungkook, who has made a name for himself in the industry, failing the military exam isn't just about missing an opportunity. It was an event that could shake the foundations of a fandom that had formed so solidly. But is all this really as bad as it looks? Of course, many fans are trying to circumvent this harsh reality. They try to give Jungkook their full support, hoping that this failure is just a small test in his life's journey. However, is it really just a test that can be passed easily? What may be hidden behind this incident that has not yet been revealed to the public? There is one thing to question. Did Jungkook really fail this exam for the reasons we see on the surface? There could be more complex factors behind the failure. Don't forget, the world of K-pop is a world full of intrigue, internal politics, and pressure coming from various parties. So, do we really know the whole story behind this failure? Or are there things deliberately hidden? Jungkook, like many other idols, always tries to look perfect in front of fans. When he is on stage, we see him as an unshakable figure, a figure capable of conquering the world with his smile and talent. But when the camera screen is turned off and he returns to his private life, do we really know what kind of pressure he is facing? Was this failure the result of the incredible demands he felt throughout his life journey in the world of entertainment? Then, there is also the more provocative question. Is this failure perhaps an impact of an overly demanding and indifferent system on the well-being of individuals? Some have begun to question whether big agencies like Big Hit Music, which houses BTS, are too focused on commercial success and don't care enough about the mental and physical health of their members. Many have argued that Jungkook may not have had enough time to fully prepare himself due to the hectic and constant schedule that weighed down the BTS members. There has also been darker speculation circulating on social media, claiming that these failures may not have been solely due to lack of preparation or unpreparedness. Is Jungkook involved in a larger scenario involving internal politics within the agency? Could there be a power play behind his failure? A fairly controversial theory is circulating, which says that the results of this exam were deliberately manipulated in the interests of certain parties. This scenario will certainly be a big scandal that shakes the K-pop world and will certainly surprise all BTS fans. Then, let's take a deeper look at Jimin's role in all of this. Jimin, who is known to be very close to Jungkook, was the one who first told the management the bad news. What's really behind Jimin's move? Did Jimin hide more information than he conveyed? Many wondered, was he just giving the report as a form of responsibility? Or was there a deep personal reason why he was the first contact person to reveal the matter to the public? Is it possible that Jimin felt pressured to say something that could possibly damage BTS's image? Given his closeness to Jungkook, does Jimin feel that he must reveal this truth? Or is he forced to become a spokesman for a problem that is actually bigger than what it seems? Now, notice how SI HYUK, who always seems calm and thoughtful, responds to this situation. As the head of the agency that manages BTS, of course the decision taken by SI HYUK will have a big impact. However, did SI HYUK really take the best decision for BTS by responding to this issue secretly? If we explore further, there may be other elements that affect SI HYUK's calm demeanor. Some people began to suspect that his sobriety might be a form of suspension or avoidance of problems that could lead to a major crisis at BTS. And, no less interesting, is the influence of the media. Are the media, with all their might, trying to aggravate this situation in order to gain more profit? After this news emerged, many K-pop news outlets were vying to discuss every detail of the incident. In an attempt to gain more attention, some media outlets even began to exaggerate unprovable speculations, spreading theories that were further from reality. BTS fans around the world are now at a very emotional crossroads. Most of them tried to stay calm and support Jungkook, but there were also those who began to question whether this was the end of BTS's great journey or just a tough test they had to pass. It's not just about failing exams, but also about what the future holds for the group, both in terms of the comeback schedule and the relationship between the BTS members themselves. In this world of tremendous controversy and pressure, the big question that hangs over them is, will BTS remain intact, or will they be torn apart by this failure? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, the world of K-pop will never be the same. Surprise after surprise will probably keep coming, and we can only wait to see how this story continues. Will Jungkook rise from this failure? Will BTS be able to face it together and continue their journey as before? All these questions are still hanging, and only time will give us the answers. But one thing is certain, we will continue to monitor their every move with hope, anxiety, and impatience, looking forward to this uncertain future. As the world watched this great shock, various speculations about what really happened behind Jungkook's failure began to emerge. Of course, it's not just about failed military exams. Many began to wonder if there were hidden factors that led Jungkook to become entangled in this failure. Given how much influence BTS has in the global music scene, the failure of one member can certainly have an impact on the entire group. However, one question that keeps swirling in the minds of many people is this just a coincidence? Or is there something bigger at play behind the scenes? Is it possible that there is an internal conflict involving the agency management, or even the BTS members themselves? It could be that this is just a small problem hidden behind big policies. But if we delve deeper, there could be another, darker side that has yet to be revealed. Rumors of tremendous emotional stress for Jungkook during his enlistment are not to be taken lightly. Some say that he may be stuck in more difficult circumstances than it seems. Some observers revealed that although Jungkook had a strong performance on stage, there was tension coming from the pressure surrounding him. Moreover, the life of an idol like him is often filled with high expectations, both from management, fans, and himself. Could this be the result of a pressure that has never really been seen by the outside world? Then, let's consider what happens in a large organization like Big Hit Music. In such a competitive world, where every step is always closely watched by fans and the media, how could the agency not take into account all the possible pressures faced by its members? Is it possible that Big Hit Music has neglected the mental well-being of its members for the sake of commercial gain? Asterisk asterisk, is there a role of management in this strain that we do not yet know? However, there are even more provocative speculations circulating among fans and the media. Some observers argue that this failure may not be accidental. Are there certain parties in the management who deliberately set this condition? Some even argue that this failure was a way to put Jungkook in a more depressed position and force him to choose a different life path. According to the larger agendas of certain parties, we all know that K-pop is an industry that never sleeps. A world full of mature calculations and calculations. There may be those who feel that Jungkook's failure in this draft exam is a strategic move to manipulate BTS's storyline in the future. The world of entertainment is very sensitive to changes and surprises that can affect the global market, and this can be just a big game to create drama that can attract more people's attention. Then, we can't ignore Jimin's reaction to this incident. As one of Jungkook's closest friends, Jimin has a strong bond with the magne. But in this stressful situation, how did Jimin react to the bad news? Did he just report the facts that happened? Or were there other interests that influenced the decision to reveal this news in the way he did? Given his closeness to Jungkook, does Jimin feel guilty about having to divulge news that could damage the group's image? It could be that there is an invisible tension behind their interactions, something that the public may not know about. Do not forget also about the reaction of the public to this news. The army so loyal BTS fans are in a big dilemma. They are always ready to support BTS members, but how can they accept the fact that one of them failed the military exam, an important phase in every South Korean man's life? When a failure like this happens to their idols, what happens to their relationship with the members of BTS? Will this change their view of Jungkook, or will they continue to provide unconditional support? Some say that the army will still support Jungkook, no matter what happens, and that their love will not be shaken by one small failure. However, the truth is that, although the fans say they will always support, a failure like this could affect the reputation of the group members. This kind of failure can add a greater psychological burden for an idol who already feels pressured by all the demands of the entertainment world. Is it possible that there was a bit of awkwardness between the BTS members after this incident? Given their close proximity, it is difficult to imagine that they did not feel affected by this failure, both personally and professionally. Will this affect the dynamics of their relationship within the group? It may be that, despite their mutual support, there is some discomfort that arises because of this problem, which may have an impact on their relationship going forward. If we consider all aspects of what happened, the pressures of the agency, the personal lives of the members, as well as the complicated relationships within the group, then we begin to realize that this incident may have been more than just a matter of draft exams. This is a mirror of the entertainment world that does not always look beautiful. BTS behind-the-scenes world is full of calculations, tough choices, and big questions about how they should deal with it. Right now, Jungkook is at a crossroads. Will this failure be a turning point that changes the course of his life, or will he rise with greater vigor than before? Will BTS continue to move forward as we expect, or is this the beginning of a major change that will shake up the K-pop world? All these questions hang, and it's time for us to wait and see how this story continues. But one thing is certain. No matter what happens, the entertainment world will always be full of unexpected surprises, and BTS's every move will always attract the world's attention. When news of Jungkook's failed enlistment exam began to spread, the reaction came not only from fans, but from the entire entertainment industry. Many are trying to dig deeper, Find out if this is just a coincidence or if something bigger is going on. Why did Jungkook, who should have been prepared with all the preparations, fail such an important test? This question comes quickly to everyone's mind, followed by a host of darker, more controversial speculations. Observers of the K-pop industry began to wonder if any internal factors influenced this result. Is it possible that there was some invisible pressure, something that happened outside of general scrutiny, that contributed to this failure? Given how important the success of each BTS member is it possible that there was interference from the other party that caused Jungkook to be mentally or emotionally unprepared? The world of K-pop, and all its glitter, often hides a much more complex reality, and it could be that this is one of the dark sides that ends up being revealed.